prompt engineering, one thing that has really struck me over the past couple of days is how differently people think about prompt engineering. And what you have to remember is that it really refers to two different things. Most of what you've heard in Internet Librarian has been about librarians using the chatbots such as the ones you see here on the screen. And behind that are the large language models, and that's where the information is coming from that we see when we prompt at one of the chatbots. Keep in mind that the response from the chatbot is all coming from the large language models, and prompt engineering, when you're talking to developers, is all about those models. It's all about how those are trained and how it's not just, oh, yes, we're going to go out and we're going to grab all this information and stick it in there. What web developers do is tweak a lot of that, and that is what they believe is prompt engineering. So crafting prompts is not really the same thing from the library perspective as web search or searching in databases. Large language models are not databases. So this really requires a different mindset, which I think you've kind of heard over the last 2 days. Just briefly, what are the strengths and weaknesses of prompting? Well, first of all, as we know, Gen AI is really crappy about returning factual information. It's all about plausibility. It's all about things that look good, even though it might not be true. And it really is terrible with numbers. Date limitations, I think that's been covered by Dan and a couple of other people. Sometimes it is not up to date. You have to be aware of that. So what's good about it? It's very creative. Summarization. I think a number of people have talked about summarization and how this is really an important part of Gen AI, and it is. Suggesting metadata and search terms, absolutely. Something it really does well. Analyzing topics, sometimes that works really well and sometimes it doesn't. Brainstorming. If you were at the little party last night online here, brainstorming is one of the things that came up, and it's really good at that. Good at creative writing, not that great at factual writing, and it's really good at returning results in a whole bunch of different formats.